Michael is in Barnet. Michael, good evening.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Very well. How can I help you, Michael?
Just a brief one. I had an eye surgery with a fairly reputable company. Of course, I can't mention the name. For both eyes, essentially, my vision, I couldn't see. Driving was fairly poor. So I had a laser correction for driving. For reading, my eyes was absolutely perfect. But unfortunately, after the surgery, my reading is now completely, I can't literally see anything off my screen, on my computer in the office, or even on my phone. I need my glasses to read the most simplest task. Now, at the very least, they've done all their checks. They're now possibly asking if I could come back for some sort of different correction. Now, the correction, previously when I did a consultation, they said due to my age, I couldn't seek that correction. But
how old are you, Michael?
49. But so, cost was fairly significant. So I presume they possibly sold me the most expensive option possible. Nonetheless, the cost is irrelevant. I wanted my eyes fixed, so I did that. But now it's almost like I'm completely disabled to a certain
Michael,
degree.
can I summarise your question? Because again, I sense you might not get to the point as quickly as I encourage people to do. I had corrective laser eye surgery to fix my long-distance vision, and in doing so, it damaged my short-distance vision.
Yes.
Do I have a claim?
Precisely.
Right. Did they warn you that that was a risk of the surgery? Because my understanding is that it often is a risk of the surgery.
Now, like any other surgery, of course...
Come on, Michael, this is a yes or a no. I don't want a long answer to this.
They did, yes.
They did.
But they didn't warn that the risk of my short vision will be obviously impacted.
Okay, no. My question was, did they warn you this was a risk of the surgery? You answered yes, but they didn't. Which one is it? Did they warn you?
Yes, they did. They did warn there's a risk to the surgery in general, not for my short-term vision.
So the answer to my question is no, they didn't warn you that the surgery involved risks to short-term vision, to short-distance vision.
No, absolutely not. No, no.
Have you looked at the consent form you signed? Do you have a copy? Have you obtained a copy?
I've written to them, and they've come back with almost mentioning the consent form, which I've now requested a copy of it. Now, if I do remember somehow, if I did sign the consent form, arguably confirming that, yes, I've signed a consent to say my either long-term vision or short vision could be impacted, do I still have a claim to at least get my money back?
You can only get your money back or get compensation if the surgery was carried out negligently. If damage to your short-distance vision is a foreseeable risk of this surgery, in my very limited medical understanding, and I'm not a doctor, but my very limited medical understanding is that it is a recognised side effect of this sort of surgery, and you consented to the risk, you're not going to have a claim for negligence. You can't get your money back, you can't get any compensation. If you weren't warned of the risk, and you can persuade a judge that you wouldn't have gone ahead with the surgery if you had been told there was a risk, which is difficult in its own right, because at the time you wanted the surgery, you told me you really wanted it, then you would have a claim for compensation. But the first thing you need to do is look at that consent form. It's highly unlikely, Radius, thank you for texting this, you've just anticipated what I was saying, it's highly unlikely they didn't warn you of risks to vision in general.